This is nasty.
Tonight, Most Haunted visits the heart of England and a castle consumed with its ghostly past.
Oh, what was that? Shut up!
Hello and welcome to Most Haunted. I've brought you to Warwick, to a place that's seen murder, demon beasts and imprisonment. But more importantly, this place is supposedly riddled with ghosts. But just how paranormally active is Warwick Castle? Well, to give us an idea and find out what we're all letting ourselves in for tonight, we asked Carl and Stuart to spend last night completely on their own in the dungeon.
Are you here? Yeah. There's supposed to be something seen up there.
Is there?
Yeah. Dark shadow. My eyes are slowly getting used to this and I forgot that was up there. It's a gibbet cage, isn't it? How are you feeling, Stu?
I'm alright, I'm just trying to settle in at the moment. Just get my bearings and... There's a pit under here. There's a lower, under there there's another dungeon. Can we get down that? Oh, what a shame that is.
Well, tomorrow night? Why don't we see if we can get a...
Yeah. See if we can get it open and get in there, yeah.
Get your head down.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, there we go.
Come on, Stu, get in there. Anyway, Stu, I'm not going to kiss you goodnight, but good night.
Good night, mate.
Hello?
Anyone there? It sounded like there was footsteps on that concrete staircase.
No.
So it seems we're in for an interesting and active 24 hours here at Warwick Castle.
AD 914 saw this site's first fort, a wooden construction that eventually made way for stone in 1260. And the addition of further halls and towers throughout the Tudor, Jacobean and Victorian eras has produced the castle that greets so many visitors today. Numerous noblemen have lived here, but while some passed in tranquil circumstances, others suffered a less than peaceful demise. Bigotry and betrayal lie behind more than one tale, and it's based on these events that staff and visitors believe spectres to still stroll these grand but ghostly floors.
The Kingmaker attraction is housed in the oldest part of the castle and is said to be the most haunted. With dark shadows, strange feelings and ghostly footsteps, this truly is a frightening place to be. But it's the specific hauntings that scare me the most. The screams of a woman and the cries of a baby are often heard echoing throughout this lower chamber. They're thought to belong to a mother and a baby that are supposedly buried behind a wall. Many people have seen the horrific apparition of a severed body right here by the fireplace. Throughout the years, this dungeon has known much misery and pain, and even today is a place of fear and dread. Many people feel very distressed in here, disorientated and restlessness. But what's causing these feelings? Many people attribute it to the figure of a large man who's thought to be a jailer, and he's seen many times standing behind a steel gate.
One very interesting story concerning Daisy, Countess of Warwick. She used to hold seances upstairs in one of the bedrooms. On one occasion she reported that after the Ouija board that she used, all of her guests were so terrified that they never came back to the castle again.
It is said Sir Fulk Greville haunts here. He was a scholar, poet and politician. He was a well-liked man by friends and workers alike. But when he discovered he was only to acquire £20 from his master's will, Fulk's manservant Haywood was filled with rage and decided to plan a grisly revenge.
One night, as his master was preparing for the evening, Haywood, in a moment of madness, took a knife and without warning plunged it into Fulk, fatally wounding him. However, eaten up by guilt, he stabbed and killed himself some days later.
Since his murder, Sir Fulk Greville has been seen many times around the tower, but mainly by this portrait, which has been known to come to life.
I do believe that he likes to watch over Warwick Castle and say, look, I put the castle right in 1600s, you keep it right today. That's what I like to think, but I would say he's our most famous ghost. There are others that people will speak of. There is a story of a newspaper reporter who is quite a cynic who stopped in the ghost tower, in the Watergate Tower. We call it the ghost tower, but it's the Watergate. And he was quite cynical, and the following morning when they let him out, he had bruises on his arms where a hand had grabbed him. And we actually had a doctor examine it, and he definitely said it was finger marks.
There are so many stories associated with this amazing castle, and some terrifying. But parapsychologist Kieran O'Keefe was keen to share his concerns about our night in this ancient location.
Now, this place is enormous. For me, I know that people will get really lost and they will get separated, and I think that's going to sort of up the ante in the scare.
I am genuinely concerned about the investigation for that reason, because we have done some very big locations and we've talked before about escape. Being in, doing a lone vigil, for example, or just two people, and if something were to happen, like you say, they will get lost. They just won't be able to find their way back.
One thing that is a little bit off-putting, or I know will be scary later on, is that they do have a lot of dummies here. They're very, very lifelike.
We're going to have a lot of people doing double takes and thinking that they've seen a ghost, thinking that they've seen somebody standing there. So it's going to be paramount that we have video evidence. We need that objective backup where we've got the film to actually show hopefully an apparition.
Now, what about experiments here at Warwick Castle? Because there's been particular areas, for instance the dungeon, where many people have felt uneasy, distressed, dizziness, you know, the classic sort of cases that we've worked on.
What I'd like to do in the dungeon is actually set up an experiment where we're looking for the presence of infrasound. Sound that is below 20 hertz. And we know from previous research that the sort of experiences people have when they're exposed to infrasound match the experiences that people have in a haunted location. So you might get a sense of presence, you might get a tightening in the chest or just a weird sensation. You might even get corner of the eye phenomena, and that can all be created by infrasound. The difficulty is finding the source of it. So it could be naturally occurring infrasound because of the structure of the dungeon and the corridor, or because of heavy traffic locally. There could be a number of different reasons.
With Kieran's infrasound experiment set, it was time to introduce our medium David Wells and guest medium Ian Lawman to this vast building. What activity would they pick up, and would they introduce us to any of the spirits that roam Warwick Castle?
She's got a white shift and it's just covered in blood.
Okay.
She ran out of the room and didn't want to be in here ever again. It's almost as if she summonsed up the devil.
Please make your presence known. Is that him?
Lying at the heart of England, Warwick Castle may hold a special place in the nation's affections, but could medium David Wells, guest medium Ian Lawman and a team of investigators sense who or what walked the infamous Warwick Castle? David's first port of call was the Undercroft, a place that many people have experienced ghostly phenomena. Could this activity be caused by the ghost of a young girl who is thought to have been murdered and her body buried behind a wall?
When I get down here, I'm aware of a girl, of a little girl, early teens, 13, maybe 14. Right, yeah, this seems... a bit more like her. Is it? There is a name. It's kind of like Rosalie or Rosemary. You know, that kind of name with her. But what she's saying to me now is something about warming their bed. You know, an expression she's using. It's kind of like they use just to warm their beds. But I certainly know what that translates to.
What, so a master had relations with a... Oh, forced?
Forced himself on her.
Not on a 13-year-old. Yes.
Yeah.
Oh
yeah.
my God.
Yeah, she's definitely drawn me to this area. So she might be under the floor or behind a wall or something. He's either beaten her to death or...
whilst pregnant?
No, there's a baby. The baby's there.
Oh, the baby's been born.
Yeah, I think the baby's born. But there was a big cover-up. Everything is like sealed up, covered up. Her demeanour's changed. She's not playful. She's just very... Her head's down. Her head's down, and she's got a white shift and it's just covered in blood, which is where I got the beating thing from.
Okay. Can you mentally ask her to maybe do something or show a sign or call out if you feel that she's here, just to give us some sort of...
Yeah, I can call out and say, okay, if there's a spirit of a little girl who wants to communicate with us, could you please make your presence known? Could you maybe make a knocking sound, tapping sound? Touch one of us?
I could have sworn I heard when you said a knocking sound, a very dull, boom, boom, boom. Very, very faint.
Could you try again? Please make that sound louder if you can.
There's something very, very faint there. I don't know where it came from.
So was David right? Was the spirit of Rosalie trying to communicate with him? And would we encounter her later during the investigation? The dungeon was a place that has affected many visitors and guests alike. It was also a place where Kieran had set up his infrasound experiment. Was the activity experienced here scientifically based, or was there an unsettled spirit that wanted attention?
There's the obvious residuals. There's screaming and shouting in French, particularly this French language in here as well. There's a huge din. It doesn't feel like it's this dungeon there. It's not. It doesn't feel like, you know, hot irons and the old doodahs on the old private or any of that business. It doesn't feel. It feels more actually just shackled up and left and forgotten about, and you're squirming around in your own feces and
really
a bit of an old leg of mutton thrown in now and again to keep however many were in here. I'm sure at times it was packed.
Was there any activity in here?
I'm really drawn to these. I noticed them when I first came in. They're all over the place. You see them?
Oh yeah.
Look, and that's what I can hear.
Okay.
That's what I can hear in my head.
The Watergate Tower has a reputation as being the most haunted place in the whole of the castle. Would David pick up on the grisly murder of Sir Fulk Greville? And would he be able to tell us if it is his ghost that is causing so much mayhem?
Is there anybody here, David?
There's definitely someone active in this building. He doesn't feel threatening. If anything, he feels hospitable, I guess, in a sense. That's the word I'd use. He feels hospitable. He's quite small, and it's Elizabethan, so he's got that rough, Elizabethan rough.
Somebody else tapping? I'm sorry.
I heard it as well.
Two at a time. Tap, tap,
It's been
tap,
happening
tap.
for the last few minutes while you've been talking. I just from through here.
From here, this area.
I think this one could be quite playful.
There you go.
Yeah.
That was it. Come over that one.
Come on, I know you're here. Please make your presence known. Is that him? Is that face just leapt out at me?
You're kidding?
It just sort of went
Oh.
out and in. I wonder if that's him. I think we need to go upstairs.
Okay, let's go.
Just
After you.
You can go first.
He's very active here. It's like he lives here. He's putting pain here, across my stomach.
Mm-hmm.
And I've got him lying in a bed with this part bleeding. And I think it's got something to do with money. So he's been murdered over money.
How? I was going to say, how did he get this wound? Through an illness?
A knife.
Oh, right.
No, this is bleeding. It's physically open.
So he was stabbed?
Yeah, there's wounds that are physically open.
And it was to do with
And
money?
They've gone putrid. He's died of the wounds. And it's got to the point where it's red raw and it's seeping, so it's not immediate death.
So do you get an idea of who he is then, or what his job would have been?
I want to say Guy Fawkes, but I know it's not Guy Fawkes. I know it's not Guy Fawkes. I know he's got a ruffy collar. And he wasn't involved in any of that. Wasn't even around at that time, I don't think. This is 1600, around that time. I think people will feel him brushing past them. They'll maybe hear, shuffling. They might have a sense of him around, but they won't get this. I don't think they'll get this.
Who did that to him?
A servant. Seemed like a servant murdered him.
Okay.
Yeah,
It would
I
be
think
quite
it
good
was-
for a seance in here as well, wouldn't it?
That'd be a really good idea.
Yeah.
And table.
Yeah.
Because I think he'll play.
Oh, that's good. We like a bit of playing, don't we? Come on then.
In the main body of the castle lies a room that has a strange history. The Kenilworth bedroom was used by the Countess of Warwick to conduct seances during the Victorian era. So frightening were these seances that the room was closed for many years. Would guest medium Ian Lawman shed more light on what might have occurred here many years ago?
Did you pick up on anything in here?
It's almost as if spiritual people was in here. Spiritual people did things in here.
In what way? What do you mean spiritual people did things?
I see a lady particularly who I feel would have stood here. It's almost as if she summoned up the devil, as heavy as that, and she just ran out. She ran out of the room and didn't want to be in here ever again. I'm getting the name of Daisy.
Mm-hmm.
Daisy. She's got quite a young face. Doesn't look that old. 30s, maybe 30, 36, somewhere around there. But she's got a sternness to her face as well. I feel she would have been broader around the hips, and a skirt would have, or a dress would have flowed out. Do you understand? It would have flowed out. It would have gone to the floor. I feel she would have had shoulders that would come out slightly, and it'd come down tighter to a cuff.
Mm-hmm.
But then also I've got like a band around the neck with some like embroidery around the neck.
Are you picking up on the fear that those people felt, do
I'm
you
definitely
think?
picking up on the fear, but I also felt that they let something in that shouldn't have come in. I feel that for some reason that particular day she let her guard down. It's almost as if something stronger came in that she couldn't control.
And is that something stronger still within the ether, do you think?
I still feel that, yeah, it's still within this room.
So it's something not nice is
No,
in here?
not at all, no.
So if we did a séance, we could encounter the same...
Yeah, definitely.
fright that they encountered?
Yes.
Oh, that sounds a bit...
Yeah.
That sounds...
That sounds
and
a bit scary.
Are you happy to be, you know, obviously we have David, are you happy to be a part of that?
Yeah, I think it'd be very interesting to see what does happen in here.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, nothing could happen, but you never know, something
No, that's
could.
right.
Both David and Ian had given us an insight into where the most active places in the castle were. One of the most intriguing places had to be the dungeon. During David's investigation earlier on in the day, Stuart had to leave due to sickness.
Stuart's going to be sick? Well, how does everybody else feel in here? How do you feel, Carl?
I don't feel good now. I don't feel brilliant now, but then again, I just watched Stuart leave, so I don't psychosomatic.
How do you feel, John?
Well, like Carl says, it's damp and claustrophobic, so it's not a nice place to be.
I feel absolutely fine. Feel absolutely fine.
The dungeon certainly had affected some of us, but was Kieran's scientific theory regarding infrasound correct? Well, one result transpired midway through the investigation. Any noise recorded at less than 20 Hz can be identified as infrasound, and compared to his earlier control test readings, this peak of around 16 Hz certainly intrigued the parapsychologist, who would continue to monitor this area throughout the day. In the dungeon, we were amongst the memories of imprisonment and death, and by going back, was someone going to get hurt?
I'm frightened now, Carl.
This is nasty.
Over the years, so many people have experienced strange, ghostly phenomena here. Would the Most Haunted crew last the night? And if so, what would we experience at Warwick Castle?
Oh my God.
Okay, so...
Oh! Oh, what was that?
Oh my God!
Forward. That.
Shut up!
Warwick Castle in the dark was not a pretty prospect. With our cameras turned to night vision, we began by investigating the Watergate Tower. Carl, Stuart, Ian and Richard began by sitting quietly in the bedchamber, where they tried to contact the spirit of Sir Fulk Greville.
Weeks moving.
Stood still.
You stood still?
You're joking.
I've not moved. I'm upstairs filming Ian's head.
I thought it was him walking around.
I thought that was you walking around.
I haven't stood here while you've been like.
Is he still here, Ian?
Yeah, I'm trying to hold him here for so we can communicate.
Listen.
I'm trying to hold him here for so we can communicate.
Listen.
It's all over. It's all over the place. You right, Ian?
Yeah, fine.
I'm sure you saw something move over there.
I actually felt the floorboard move underneath my foot then.
Would he have hidden the fact that he's homosexual?
It would have, it was a hanging offence, but I believe that Ralph actually murdered him, in not just for money. I think there was more to it.
What was that?
Something moving, actually something moving.
It was like a dragging, something dragging.
Listen. Yes, Sir Fulk, I'm suggesting that you were having liaisons with various men in London. And that I believe that you were murdered because you were a homosexual. And that you were actually having affairs with other people, including Sir Philip Sidney.
Shut up!
And that you were actually having affairs with other people, including Sir Philip Sidney.
Shut up! Shit.
You right? Well, we're obviously getting through, if that's...
With ghostly footsteps and sickness already having been experienced, we were all eager to split into groups. Richard Felix, Kieran and Kath had taken a small group to the Undercroft, where the ghost of a 13-year-old girl is said to roam. Carl and Stuart had decided to brave it alone in an oubliette, a small cell found underneath the main dungeon floor. I was keen to investigate the Watergate Tower for myself. I chose to take with me David, Ian and the rest of the team.
If there's anyone here, if there's any presences here, any astrals, would you please make yourself known. Touch one of us, make a sound.
Can you hear distant talking?
Yeah, I can.
Yeah, I can. I was just about to say it.
They'd be too far away to hear them, wouldn't they?
You would have thought so. Just be quiet.
You think?
Oh, did you hear that?
You definitely had that.
Jeez.
Yeah.
That was loud.
How'd you feel, mate?
I feel scared. Do you know, I'm there now. Why am I this nervous about going down there? I don't know. Well, because people have died down there, that's why. Okay. That is one tight fit, isn't it?
You're going to come down there pretty quick.
Coming straight down. Coming straight down. Don't panic. Okay, mate, take your time. Take your time now.
Oh, Stu, I've not been like this before. Have you ever known me to be like this before?
Never. Okay, take your time, take your time. If you're not sure, come back straight out.
Can I just have my camera?
Yeah, I'll turn it round, mate, so you've got some light.
Thanks, mate.
Okay. Okay. Is that great? I'm going to pull this to one side.
I can't see shit.
Oh. Am I coming down now, Carl?
Hang on, Stu. Stu?
Yeah.
Come on down, mate. Oh. Your feet are on the... Oh. That's it, you're on the bottom now.
This is narrow, this.
You alright, Stu?
Yeah.
I'm going to touch your leg. It's me touching your leg. Just let you know I'm here. You alright, mate?
Yeah. Oh, my jacket's coming above my head. Hang on.
That's the worst bit, because it makes you feel even worse.
My jacket is.
You alright, Stu?
Yeah. Oh. How bad is this?
Too bad. It's bad.
Oh.
Okay, yeah, mate.
Give us a camera, yeah.
What's that sticking out of it?
Where? Ooh. What is it?
I don't know. I mean, bearing in mind, this is where people were forgotten. I don't like this attention.
Falling all over you. Yeah, I don't like it in here, mate. One bit, I really don't. It's actually quite stuffy down here, isn't it? There's not much.
I feel dizzy.
Yeah,
really
I
feel
do.
dizzy.
Yeah.
Is anyone here? Any astral being? Yeah, show yourself to us. You don't scare us. If you're a prisoner in here and you want freedom, we can help you. Please come to us. Show us you're here, please. You don't scare us and we don't want to scare you.
What was that? Yeah, what was that?
You don't scare us and we don't want to scare you.
What was that? Yeah, what was that?
Sounds like a screaming sound.
Where did it come from? Where did it sound like it came from?
Well, it sounded like it came from actually in within the cell. If that's you whining, come down here. Please, if you would.
Is there anyone up there? Hello?
I mean, honestly, don't you expect him to... He's coming for it. He's dreadful.
What's up?
I just thought I saw something. That was weird. Maybe that was my eyes playing tricks, but it was like right by my face. No, but like right by my face.
What, like it passed you?
Like something went right by me.
It's a generator or something.
Is it still?
It didn't look like a figure. Just a shape.
Just something going across like that.
Wow. Please do make a big effort and try and do something. Please tap on something in response now. Let me know if you're here.
Sorry. I'm sorry. I'd been focusing on this guy. Just because something to concentrate on, because we're all looking in different directions. Richard kept on talking, and then as he was getting to the end, the reason why I flinched is because suddenly it looked like he was breathing.
He's joking.
You know, in that I know it's just my eyes playing tricks on me because I was concentrating, but he just felt like it was almost like he started breathing, and at that instant where he started breathing, he also looked as though he was going to stand, and that's why I was like,
why? Yeah.
If there's anyone here, could you please make a sound? Oh.
What was that?
It's a footstep.
Oh yeah, I heard that then.
Oh, shh.
Oh yeah, I heard that then.
Oh, shh. There is noise.
There's definitely footsteps.
Outside, like a dragging footstep noise. Like the crisp, you know, you saying like the crisp packet is out there.
Just check there's no one down there. No. Well, we shut the door, didn't we?
I shut both doors as well.
Yeah, we did.
Well, just keep asking out.
Yeah, go on, David.
If there's anyone here, could you please make that sound again, or another sound?
What the
What's
what was that? That was the bed moving.
If there's anyone here, could you please make that sound again, or another sound?
What the what was that? That was the bed moving. Is there anybody here? Is there a spirit person here? A spirit man? That would like to talk to us, like to communicate with us? Were you murdered? Was that you?
Did you feel that?
No.
On the floor?
No.
No.
It was like a thump on the floor. I actually felt it rather than heard it.
Is he here? Is he still
Yeah,
here?
it's just I feel a bit uncomfortable here. I don't know because it's so dark and you can see there's a doorway. That doesn't help.
Well, where's the door go?
Don't know.
Oh, come on, let's go find out.
With no light and our sense of direction completely gone, our nerves were starting to show, and it wasn't long before they got the better of us.
Push one of us, try and affect one of us.
What was that?
Oh my God.
Warwick Castle was a vast and frightening place, and my vigil in the Watergate Tower was unnerving. Carl and Stuart were also suffering with nerves down in the oubliette.
What's that? What? What's up? Like a whining sound.
Do you want me to pop my head up and have a quick look?
Let's try and go.
If there's anybody here in this dungeon, with us now. Can you please show us a sign? Touch one of us, make a sound, push one of... Shh. Ooh, what's that?
Are you here?
Let me just go around there, mate, where that hole is.
What, and look up?
Yeah, well, as good as I can get without struggling, I mean.
Is there anything else, you?
No, I can't see anything. No, I can't. Oh.
You alright, Jim?
Yeah, I'm just falling all over the show, mate. I can't bloody see a thing here. This is ridiculous. Is there any spirits here? Me and Carl have come all the way down here, and it hasn't been easy. It's been a tight squeeze. The least you can do is show yourself.
Hang on.
You coward.
Hello? Are you here? Are you here?
Is that you trying to warn us off? Do you wish us to leave? If so, show us another sign. Push one of us, try and affect one of us.
That definitely came from next door to me.
I'd be lying if I was to say you don't frighten us. Because I'm frightened now, Cal.
What's that in there, John?
It's the mirror. It's just back downstairs. I think that's where it came. What was that? Oh my god.
It's okay. It's alright. It's okay. What happened? It's alright, just stay calm.
No one was moving. And then...
Who's it?
That's what I'm saying. Someone upstairs.
What? Oh, what the that? Who's it?
That's what I'm saying. Someone upstairs.
What? Oh, what the that?
It's someone upstairs.
No, it's not. Is anyone up there?
I mean, it sounds like someone upstairs.
There's somebody upstairs. Is anyone up there? What the was that? No one was leaning against there.
No.
That's what freaked me out.
Who is up there? Is anyone above us next to the bed? Go on, make the noise again then.
Shit.
Right, I'm standing next to you, so I know that it's not you. And I know that you were standing well away from there, and Ian's next to me. I can't understand that.
That really freaked me out. That was really loud.
It's not. I mean, nothing.
You weren't moving,
No,
were you?
no, it wasn't moving. I was static. What's in this doorway?
It did open. Oh, I tried that. It wouldn't open.
Oh, wow. What's that? It's movement.
Where does this go?
I don't know.
It's like a labyrinth, isn't it?
It's like another doorway. It is. Shit, there's another room.
Do you know what? I'm really scared.
You want to try standing at the back of the line?
Oh my god.
Nothing's going to touch
Look.
Oh, we're back in the main room.
Oh, how bizarre.
Whose deck are we? Are any spirits up there with us?
What is that?
Whoa, what was that, Cal?
What is that?
Whoa, what was that, Cal?
That came from
Hello?
right next door to me. That came from right next door. Are you here?
Oh, whoa, Cal, where's it? That's coming from outside, that, mate.
Are you sure? Because it feels like it's right next to me.
Come on, do something, you coward. Did something just fall on us?
This is nasty.
Doesn't solve the problem, does it?
Nah.
Oh, what was that? Oh! What was that?
Stuart's reaction was to a sound right behind him, which when slowed down could either be attributed to loose debris from the oubliette ceiling or something far more malicious. It was time to begin a séance, and where better to open a circle than in the Kenilworth room. The last time a séance was held here was in the Victorian era, led by the Countess of Warwick. The sitting became so frightening that everyone fled terrified. Would we make contact with the alleged spirits that are thought to haunt this room? And if so, what would they do?
Are you a woman? Is there a child here?
I have a man here.
Okay.
Richard, would Americans visit here?
Yeah.
Okay. I've got a link then.
Okay. Is this gentleman American?
Yeah.
If there is a gentleman's spirit here, are you American? If you are, please tap or bang or move the table. We can hear you if that's you that's tapping, but we need you to make it much louder if you can. Oh, wow, John, it's really loud. Thank you very much. We can hear you now. Please knock once for yes and twice for no. Okay. Are you... I know, yeah. Please knock once for yes and twice for no. Okay. Are there other spirit people here in this room? Yes. Could you knock out how many there are? I would... Is that something like 14?
17.
Yeah.
Okay. Sir, please, are we in any danger? Yes.
It seemed so strange that after a series of loud and responsive knocks, and even after a warning, all went quiet. From strange lights, bumps and bangs to being hit, Warwick Castle certainly didn't disappoint and had given us plenty to think about. Out of all the unexplained occurrences, the most curious has to be Stuart's experience down in the oubliette. Something fell on him, and whatever it was seemed to be thrown, and with force.
To be quite honest with you, I was slightly apprehensive at Warwick. Because it has actually been branded as a haunted place, they were actually exploiting the fact that they've got ghosts by changing the name of one of the towers into the Ghost Tower. So I wasn't too sure about it. Ian didn't get possessed, but this guy certainly came through him. Shut up! Whatever was in that room was around us. It was that side, and then we heard it over that side, then we heard it behind us. And we were all on the bed, and there was only Ian. Now, he was standing, filming us.
I thought that was you walking around. I haven't stood here while you've been on.
He couldn't be over there and over there. There was no one there, or at least there was no one there alive. And after that, I am totally convinced that the Watergate, or as it's now called, the Ghost Tower, is most definitely haunted.
So remember, the auditory phenomena was not experienced in one particular area of the room. It was actually almost as though a spirit or somebody was walking around the bed. Now this means that we can discount possibly a floorboard or a pipe or some natural source of sound. However, because of the phenomena that I experienced, I went in and did a vigil with some others, including David Wells and John Dibley, and we did experience similar sounds. You could stand in one part of the room and stand on a floorboard, and it would actually cause a sound in another part of the room. And this is a possibility for what happened.
Stuart's going to be sick?
We need to assess exactly the state of mind or the state of health that Stuart was in at the time, and possibly what he'd eaten immediately prior to the experience or earlier on that day. And certainly Stuart had eaten different food to the rest of the crew, and there's a strong possibility it may have been that caused him the sickness. All in all, I would say that Warwick Castle was a really interesting investigation, but in terms of the phenomena that was captured, I wouldn't say that we're dealing with an impressively haunted location.
Ghost hunting at Warwick Castle has been unforgettable. From me, Yvette Fielding, and the rest of the Most Haunted crew, sleep tight.
Think you're the greatest Most Haunted fan on the planet? There's only one way to prove it. Go to livingtv.co.uk/Most Haunted and play the Super Fan Quiz. Great prizes to be won, over 18s only. See the website for terms and conditions.
Crikey, all that banging and clanging has scared the whatsits out of me. Keep it Living TV as we head back to Warwick behind the scenes in Most Haunted Extra next.